specializing in property management in Southeastern PA. Today, we're going to talk about a couple of different counties that you might want to invest in Southeastern Pennsylvania. So, Southeastern Pennsylvania pretty much encompasses these counties right here in the state. Philadelphia being the city, and then surrounded by Delaware County, Montgomery County, and Bucks County, which are on the borders, and then followed by Chester and Berks counties. As you start to get further out, really Lancaster, Berks, Lehigh, and Northampton are considered the far more rural or suburban counties. So really, primarily, if we're talking about the Philadelphia county, it's these five counties right here, which is Philadelphia, Bucks, Montgomery, Delaware, and Chester County. Now, when we're looking at these, my favorite to work in of these five is going to be Montgomery and Chester County, and we'll go over those why. I would personally avoid Delaware County and Philadelphia County if at all possible. Delaware County has extremely high taxes, and I don't believe that they're super landlord friendly. It's a very, very dense county, lots of very old infrastructure from old Philadelphia, and therefore you've got very narrow streets, very small properties. The taxes are very high to offset for their school districts. So I would avoid Delaware if possible. Philadelphia, if I had my way, I would not invest in Philadelphia. It takes a special kind of investor to work the Philadelphia market. I am just not one of those people. The courts are different. The properties are different. It's much. Personally, I think leave Philadelphia investing for those people who live, work, and breathe in the city. It's very difficult to own and manage properties in Philadelphia from the suburbs. And then Bucks County. Nothing wrong with Bucks County. A little bit of older, more established neighborhoods. It gets still some pressure from the New York buyers pushing down into our area. Plus, we're right across the river, Bucks County, from New Jersey. So you've got some New Jersey push into Bucks County that has a tendency to make it a more expensive county to own property in. Taxes are typically higher, and point of entry for costs it goes up. So ideally, a good area to invest in, but not for someone who might be just starting out with smaller pockets. So that leaves Chester and Montgomery County. Chester County has a lot more rural areas for it, but it still does very well from an investor standpoint. Most of the clusters of good Chester management are going to be along the edges of Montgomery and Delaware County. As you get further into the west part of Chester County, it gets a little bit more rural and probably not highly recommended, which leaves you right smack dab in the middle of the most populated area for real estate investors, very high in demand, and that is going to be Montgomery County. And so let's talk about Montgomery County and all the pros and cons. Now, when it comes to Montgomery County, why I like it so much is it is a decent population, just under 900,000 people as of 2020. I presume that number is going to be higher. There's been a lot of growth recently in the area. It's the third most populous county in Pennsylvania after Philadelphia and Allegheny counties, which means Philadelphia is the largest, then right into Montgomery County, which is interesting because the county seat and the largest city is Norristown, which is an area I would not recommend renting in. It is 2024, and we've been talking for over a quarter of a century that the rebirth of Norristown is coming, but I just don't see it happen. It's not one of my favorite places to manage in. And as I was saying, it is adjacent to Delaware, Chester, Berks, Bucks, Lehigh counties. Well, let's get down to it's a nice mix of population, lots of different cultures in this township, lots of strong employers, and this has been very good for rental properties, especially corporate furnished short-term rentals. There's a lot of businesses that can support those types of investments. Standard long-term rental properties, again, are also very, very in high demand. There's lots of people constantly coming and going into the area due to some of the larger employees. And some of the biggest ones will be Aetna, GlaxoSmithKline, Lockheed Martin is huge. We've got one of the largest malls, the King of Prussia Mall, maybe one of the largest malls in America. I always forget who they're going back and forth with, but it's ridiculous. And then, of course, you got Pfizer, Quest Diagnostics, SCI is another big one. So these are all businesses that we have a lot of tax base paid for and a lot of employment opportunities, which means a lot of people coming in and out. Montgomery County also has a lot of good colleges and university. Arcadia, Bryn Athyn, Bryn Mawr, who hasn't heard of that, Haverford College, Temple, St. Joe's, Rosemont, part of Penn State, Abingdon, and the PA College of Optometry. So these are all very well-known schools. And so again, opportunities for rentals. So let's talk about each school district. Let's talk about which school districts I recommend in Montgomery County and which ones I do not as a property manager or investor. Abington School District. It is a great school district to live in. It is a great school district to own property in. It is a very difficult school district to manage because it is very difficult to get in and out. It takes, no matter what road you come in, main thoroughfare, it is back roads to get into the Abington area, which means that it is very difficult for driving. Same thing with Boyertown. It's on the edges. It's further out. I would avoid Cheltenham. Cheltenham School District is right on the edge of the city. It has a tendency for lower income properties. Jenkintown is up there with Abington. Very, very difficult to get to. Colonial is a good school district if you're working more towards the Bucks County line for investing. Colonial can be very good. Hatboro Horsham School District, again, if you're in the eastern part of Montgomery County, will often do very well. Unfortunately, Jenkintown is up there with Abington. Their neighboring cities and school districts, very difficult to get into either of those. And after 20 years, we have tried managing from the King of Prussia area in Jenkintown and Abington and had found it to be very difficult. Great school district to manage in, but very expensive for ownership of properties. Lower Merion School District. This is known as the main line. You've got some of the most expensive properties along that train line that goes outside of Philadelphia. Great for management, great for ownership, but very high entry level for cost of entry, and typically very low cap rates for investors. In other words, you are buying the demand over longevity. You're not buying the cap rates on those properties. They're typically very low. Methacton, not a school district I would recommend right now. It is a school district that is going through a decline. I'm not sure if it's a population withdrawal or people moving out of the state, but the district, it borders up against Norristown. Norristown is not a great area to invest in. It's a difficult school district and not what I would recommend for your average investor who is looking for turnkey passive income. North Penn School District, very, very school district, highly recommended, very good for ownership and for property management, landlord investing. So definitely recommended. Perkiomen Valley School District, it's not bad, but it's starting to get into that more of the Perkiomen Valley School District is in the rural part. So it's only around the edges of Skippack that I might recommend looking at, but not great opportunity for high growth over the next decade that we're looking at. Pottsgrove School District. Hey, if you've got to be in the Potts, be in the Pottsgrove, not the Pottstown. I wouldn't recommend Pottstown. Definitely more of your D-class properties. Not a great school district. Lots of challenges in that. But if you just cross the border into Pottsgrove School District, what you get are a lot of people who don't want to be in Pottstown that are excited to be in that school district. So there's typically high demand. So highly recommended. Souderton to rural, I would stay away from it. Springfield Township, it's not bad, but it's not super tenant friendly. Its location is more corporate, so there's not a lot to work with there. And again, typically older properties. So if you're looking for young growth or newer buildings, I would stay out of that area. Spring-Ford Area School District. This is one I've had a lot of experience in over the last 20 years. It's a mixture of old and new. Cost of entry getting into to invest in that area is pretty much getting kind of tight right now. So we're not seeing a lot of opportunities for that unless you have money to play. But it has been going through some rebirth over the last 5 years, 10 years if you're really looking at where it came from. Upper Dublin School District, Upper Merion School District. Upper Merion's not a bad one. If you can't afford to be on the main line, Upper Merion is a great school district. It's right on the other side of the border. Highly recommended if you want mainline living without the mainline prices. And then, of course, you've got Upper Perk, Wissahickon, and Bryn Athyn. And again, those are three very sort of on the edge districts I would stay away from, not high demand areas for investment and growth. And then, of course, in all those school districts, you can look at it from the other way, which is the boroughs and townships. And the boroughs and townships do vary. So each one may have its own rules and regulations. They all follow certain international building standards, but some will have, boroughs and townships will have rental licenses and others will not. So your mileage may vary with each borough and township, and it's your best bet to either do your homework on the back end or hire a professional property manager with experience in those to recommend which are the districts and boroughs you want to be in and which ones you might want to avoid. Some of them are more landlord-friendly than others. Some are very easy to work with. Some require much more hoops to jump through for investing.